Hey Book World, I'm KM Robinson of KM Robinson Photography and Reading Transforms, and this is your book cover style guide quick look for The Darkest Lie. The Darkest Lie is a fantastic novel that is focused on a girl named Cece who is trying to cope with life several months after her mother's suicide when she was accused of having an affair with a student. Cece picks up by working at the crisis hotline that her mother once started, and as she does, she finds that there are more questions than answers when it comes to her mother's death, especially when she meets the new student Sam, who is an investigative journalist who's focusing his new article on her mother's suicide. I highly recommend this book. It is a great mystery, it is fantastically well written, and I'm not just saying that because Pintip is my friend, but this truly is a wonderful story and I highly recommend it. And the really great part is that there are a lot of really wonderful things that you can do to decorate your book images to get your fans to look into The Darkest Lie. If you are focusing your imagery off of the content of the cover, there are a lot of really cool elements you can bring in. If you take a look, it is a blue-based book, so any blue colors are really going to make it pop. You can do black colors or dark colors to go with some of these outside edges here because that's really going to make it stand out. But you can also go with light colors to really make it pop in your image. Originally, when I first got this book, before I even read it, one of the first things I did was notice the branches that are coming down from this corner, and so I went and grabbed some of my own branches. I used the thorn branches that I have, but you could use twigs from outside and put them with your book to really decorate it. And you can also see the lake in the background, so if you do any lake-like things, that would be great as well. We know in the story that Cece and her mom are really close, and her death has strongly affected Cece. But looking at their relationship, there are a lot of things that we can bring in to show that off in your imagery, such as the triangular folded notes that they shared with each other, the key that her mother leaves her, the dress with the pocket that the two of them share, and even the journal that her mother has left her to find as she's working at the crisis hotline. These are all really great ways to bring her mother into your imagery and make your fans wonder what it's all about. Of course, we also know that in the story, Cece, while working at the crisis hotline, finds some boxes that her mother has left, and she knows that they are her mother's boxes because they are wallpapered with the wallpaper from their kitchen. So if you can find a box or a decorative box or even some wallpaper that you can make into a box, that would be a really great nod to that particular scene in the book. We know because Cece works at a crisis hotline, phones are going to be very important within this story. And there are three main types of phones that we actually see within this storyline. Of course, we're going to see cell phones, so adding your cell phone to your image would be a really cool way to bring out that part of the story. But we know that also we are going to be seeing a black cordless phone and a spiral cord phone at the Crisis Hotline Center. And so bringing in those types of phones, even if you put them all together, would be a really great way to reference the Crisis Hotline Center in your images. If we are going to be referencing people in our images, we want to bring in elements that represent the different characters within the story. And so we know that Sam is a journalist. I would represent him by using a notebook or perhaps a computer. That way we can bring in his journalistic pursuits into your image. We can also focus on Cece's grandmother, who is a professional poker player. If you can get your hands on some playing cards or some poker chips, that would be a great reference to her. We also meet Sam's mom within the story, and we know that she has lived a very hard life, and something that is very important to her is her motorcycle and her motorcycle persona. So bringing in a motorcycle helmet or leather or even a motorcycle, if you have access to it, would be a really great nod to his mother. Now we know that Cece meets Sam's sister Bryony within the story early on, and she meets her over a fallen apple. The apple has fallen out of Cece's locker, and Bryony stops to help her pick it up, and this would be a great reference to their relationship together. We know that during her mother's funeral, Cece received a bouquet of flowers with a card signed W that she could not send a thank you letter for. And eventually, this particular bouquet comes up again within the storyline, and that card with the W on it is very important. So if you have flowers, or a vase of flowers, or even a card with a W on it, that is a great reference to that particular scene. And it really helps to solve the mystery at the end of the story. So if you don't know what that's about, read the book and find out, because it's very important. We know that as Cece is working, she receives a series of text messages from someone who is trying to get her to stop looking into her mother's death. One of these text messages involves a picture of a girl at the Crisis Hotline Center in a sweatshirt, and she very quickly realizes is a picture of her. So adding in a sweatshirt or someone sitting at a desk with the book is a really great reference to that particular scene. We know that a wig made out of hair is very important toward the end of the story, and so if you have access to a wig, that would be really great to put into your image to kind of draw out that scene and entice your readers to check into it, because they need to know why that wig is so important. Now, of course, we know the biggest thing that we can add into our images is the lake. We know that the Crisis Hotline Center is near the lake. There are geese there that you can hear in the background at all times. And so if you can add in water, if you can add in a lake, if you can add in geese or ducks or anything similar to that, that would be an incredible reference to that particular location that means so much to the entire storyline. Whether you're basing your imagery off of the content of the story or content of the cover, make sure that you keep it clean and simple and classic. You really want to make sure that the book cover stands out, that you do not overlap anything over the title or the author's name, so that everyone that sees your image clearly knows where they can find this book. Make sure that you are using your imagery to show off the content of the book and entice your readers to look into it based solely on your images. The really cool thing is I've had a bunch of people lately contact me and say that they have purchased books based solely off of an image that I took of a book and put on Instagram to show you guys how to stylize these books. And you have that power too. All you have to do is look into the cover and look into the story and make a list of objects that really are going to intrigue your readers and make them wonder why you paired it with that book. To find out more about how to stylize books like this and others and implement it in your marketing plan, please visit www.readingtransforms.com or check out our blog at blog.readingtransforms.com. And be sure to check out our video series right here on YouTube that will show you some really great tricks for taking better photos of your books. I'm KM Robinson of KM Robinson Photography and Reading Transforms. Stay inspired.